guys, what's going on? It's Seymour by the channel, and today we're going to do a reaction to We're All Wrong About Ben. So, obviously, only appearance was season one. We never see Ben again because obviously he dies from two different scenarios. So, one scenario, I'm going to get into it for the scenario. Spoilers if you have never played season one. If you didn't, I recommend go checking out my playlist. I do have a playlist somewhere. It'll probably pop up here at some point. But so when you're up in the bell tower, you're holding Ben to like pull him up to save him, but you get the option to save him or drop him. Even Ben will say drop him. Or you save him and he dies later on in the episode, which is like you're jumping from the house to the balcony to get onto the roof. And Ben's the last one, and the balcony breaks and he falls, but you come to realize he's pinned by the balcony. The balcony hole goes right through him. There's no way to save him. Well, let's just get right into it.
If anyone ever proved that good intentions aren't enough to survive, it was Ben. Ben is one of those characters who gets both too much hate and too much sympathy. Among all of Telltale's creations, he's easily one of the most talked about and misunderstood. So, in this video, I'm taking a closer look at Ben. Is he a realistic, forgivable character caught in a bad situation, or has the community been too quick to give him a pass he doesn't deserve? Let's dive in and fairly dissect one of the most requested characters in my channel's history.
That's what people forget too, before we continue on, that through all this, they forget Ben's the kid. Ben's roughly, I'd say probably 18, 17 during this. And like they all forget that he's a kid. That's the one thing they forget. Like, they know Clementine's a kid, obviously. Same thing with Duck, but they all forget too later on, and they realize that too, that they're like, "Oh, we keep forgetting that he's a kid."
When Ben is first introduced to the group, he's instantly seen as a burden by Lily, just another mouth to feed. He's a terrified kid from nowhere, reeling from the loss of the only two people he arrived with, his best friend Travis and his teacher Mr. Parker, the last adult he looked up to. Before he can even process that grief, he's already being torn into. And to make matters worse, Ben delivers a revelation that confirms the group's worst fear. It's not the bite that turns you.
That's the thing too. Ben mentions to everybody that the bite that you get from the walkers doesn't turn you into the walker itself. It's like some, like, paint something in the air, and everyone's all infected, so if you don't destroy the brain, you basically become one of them.
Death.
It's not the bite that does it. You come back no matter how you die. If you don't destroy the brain, that's just what happens. It's gonna happen to all of us.
Everyone is infected. Surprisingly, after his introduction, Ben fades into the background almost entirely. Clementine is the only one who shows him any real kindness. He truly has no one, and no one at the motel ever tries to get to know him. But this isn't just an oversight, it's intentional. His invisibility reflects both his loneliness and the group's indifference. Nobody truly cares what he does, and without guidance or support, Ben makes the first fatal mistake of his life, cutting a deal with the bandits. Some
Yep.
medicine in exchange for temporary safety. To me, this being a controversial decision has always felt strange. Ben absolutely made the right call. His mistake wasn't the deal itself, it was hiding it. And that secrecy leads to disaster. Lee and Lily discover the
Which it does. You see the disaster later on when the whole group falls apart. And not Kacha, Duck gets bitten in the process.
truth, and the bandits retaliate by raiding the motel. It's here that Ben's role shifts, from invisible outsider to a catalyst for Kenny's arc. Duck is bitten during the raid, and Katja later takes her own life, consumed by grief. In trying to avoid conflict, Ben inadvertently caused more pain than he could have imagined. And he continues this pattern. When Lily starts pressing for answers, he panics, dodges the questions, and threatens to leave. Carly, or Doug, defends him and and pays for it with their life. That's 2 people he knew lost and 3 more deaths caused indirectly by his actions. But even so, I don't think this makes Ben a screw-up, in the way some fans group him with characters like Harvey or Nick. He doesn't fit that mold. Ben had good intentions from the start, and honestly, most people in his situation would have made the same deal. What sets him apart isn't the decision, it's what came after. The secrecy, the fear of confrontation, the willing to let others suffer just to avoid being blamed. Ben isn't a screw-up, he's a coward. What makes Ben even more complex is that he's fully aware of his own failures. He doesn't need to be told his actions were wrong. In fact, it's Ben who insists on telling Kenny the truth, even if you advise him not to. The guilt eats away at him. As Ben's mistakes pile up, abandoning Clementine in the street, pulling the fire axe from the barricade and causing Bree's death, his moral compass becomes increasingly clear. He knows right from wrong, and eventually he chooses to face it. Telling Kenny the truth isn't just a confession, it's a turning point. It's Ben confronting the 2 core flaws that define him: his fear of conflict and his instinct to hide from responsibility. And crucially, he does it without any push from the player. Before we move on to Ben's determinate death and who he becomes if you save him, there are a few things that need addressing. Ben is heavily vilified by the community, and often unfairly. His intentions are constantly misread. Sure, you could call him a screw-up, but aside from the fire axe incident, what exactly does he screw up? His biggest crimes are rooted in fear, not malice or selfishness. He isn't blinded by pride or ego, he's just a terrified, guilt-ridden teenager trying to survive in a world he's not equipped for. Ben clearly knows right from wrong. He understands what he needs to change about himself. The tragedy isn't that he refuses to change, it's that he doesn't believe he can. Which brings us to one of the most pivotal decisions in the game. Do you drop Ben from the bell tower as he begs for it, desperate to escape the weight of his guilt, or do you give him one more chance, despite the danger his unraveling state may pose to the group? If you're like me, someone who wants every character to grow and survive, then chances are you pulled Ben up. Sure, there's an argument to be made that keeping such an unstable, guilt-ridden teen in a group with limited space is irresponsible. But in my view, a 17-year-old shouldn't be given a death sentence
Okay, so he is 17. I thought he was between 18 and 17.
mistakes rooted in fear, not malice. It doesn't align with Lee's character either, someone who was judged and condemned, yet proved his worth. And despite what Kenny says, if he were the one holding Ben's arm, he wouldn't have let go either. This choice also reveals something about the player. Throughout this entire playthrough, have you held on to your humanity, or decided the world is too brutal to keep gambling on others? If Clementine ever became a liability, would you let her fall too? This moment doesn't just challenge Lee and Kenny as protectors, it challenges you. Letting Ben live is, in many ways, the objectively better choice.
All right, where's that at? You let Ben fall to his death. So like, this is probably an old list because I can't remember what I had, but there was like well, obviously I couldn't see on PC. No, I could see. It's just some of the seasons I couldn't. Uh, I've always pulled them up. I've only done it once. That's when I did my second playthrough on my Vita because I want to see the difference.
Not only does he redeem himself, he finally faces what's been haunting him. When Kenny lashes out, Ben doesn't deflect or panic. He opens up. He admits he never knew what happened to his father, mother, or sister. He never even had the chance to lose them. That confession, raw and vulnerable, forces Kenny to pause. It strikes a nerve, reminding him that in another life, this terrified boy could have been Duck. And just as it could have been Duck, it just as easily easily could have been Clementine. Saving Ben creates a ripple effect. It grounds Kenny, gives Ben a second chance, and gives Lee the power to believe people can change. Ben stands tall, promises to help.
Yeah, because Kenny was blaming Ben for everything. They're arguing, and then Ben I'll show the clip.
Find Clementine, and with little to no player intervention, rewrites his own story. Of course, he lives to only die another day, falling from a balcony and being impaled. But even that has meaning. His bravery, his choice to help, not to run, becomes his undoing. And in that final moment, Kenny also gets a second chance. He stays with Ben until the end, showing him compassion and offering mercy. In my opinion, it's a far more fitting end to his Season 1 arc than the Krista sacrifice. Because this time, Kenny gets to save a boy who isn't his, after failing to save the one who was. The truth is, Kenny wouldn't have dropped Ben at the bell tower, and when it counted, he didn't. With Ben's full arc explored, one question remains. Does the Telltale community judge him fairly? The answer is sometimes. Ben isn't innocent. He makes real mistakes, ones that cost lives, including potentially Lee's love interest. He nearly gets Clementine killed. These are serious, often unforgivable errors, and yet some players let Ben off the hook a little too easily, as if he's too naive or dumb to grasp the weight of what he's done. But the truth is, Ben does understand. He's far more perceptive than many give him credit for, and with that understanding comes a choice: morality or indifference. Ben isn't a sociopath. He acknowledges the severity of his actions and accepts that there should be consequences. The key difference is that without being pushed, he chooses to face them. That alone proves that while Ben may be a coward, he's not a bad kid. He doesn't deserve execution. He deserves a chance to atone. Letting Ben die isn't justice. It's cruelty. It's the kind of thing Carver would do and did do to Reggie. Lee, no matter what, just isn't that kind of man. We also have to remember that Ben lacks any real role models throughout the game. While Clementine has Lee and Duck has Kenny, Ben occupies an awkward middle ground. Too old to be cared for, yet too young to truly stand on his own. He initially arrived with a role model, his teacher, and losing him left Ben in a vulnerable, confused state. It's a detail that's often overlooked. So in the end, Ben is both a burden and a morally good person. That contradiction, that tension, is what makes him so compelling. Like many characters that I say this about, he's not a hero and he's not a villain. He's a scared, well-meaning teenager caught in an unrelenting, merciless world, and that alone should make us pause before judging him too harshly. If this world has room for people like Ben to grow, then maybe there's hope left for the rest of us too. An absolutely huge shout out to my members: Gog, Wizard Elf, Eternal Canadian, Fresh Pokemon Hunter, and
All right. So I do agree with that. Like, you think too, Kenny would not let Ben fall to his death. All Ben scenes. Yeah, here's the scene here. So I'll put the links for both videos. I think I have this one still. Yeah. Both videos will get posted.
Man, I swear to God.
What do we do without a boat?
Get to the countryside. You dicked around with cities and coastlines and boats too long. Take her out there. Live as safe as you can, okay?
Look, I agree with you. I think out in the country is the safest place to be. But you're not dead yet, so put a pin in that, okay?
Where the hell do you get off?
I'm just saying we should all chill. Not just you.
Chill? Bandits? Hey, chill! Here's some pills! Vernon, chill! Here's our fucking boat!
This isn't my fault.
I can't point to one thing that's happened that isn't somehow your fault! Lee should have left you in Crawford.
Fuck you, Kenny!
Whoa, Ben!
No, let him.
I am so sorry about Katja and Duck. I am. And I know I fucked up. But stop pushing me around and stop wishing I was dead. No! You know how they die. You said goodbye. I never got to see my family, my parents, my little sister. Do you get that? Your family is gone, but at least you had them to lose. I never made it home. They could be alive or dead or walkers or worse, and I don't know. So give me a fucking break!
Oh, Ben,
Yep.
Oh shit! Here they come!
in the house!
That's it there. But let me get like the thumbnail for this video, bro. No, I can't get it. Oh well. But yeah, so Ben, I obviously, like they said too, Carver would have probably killed Ben like he killed Reggie in season 2. But obviously, they forgot Ben is a kid. They forgot Ben's between 17 years old. That's the thing. Obviously, yes, he made mistakes, but he believed those the bandits and whatnot. But I wish maybe we would have saw him, live longer. But it's The Walking Dead. You guys hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please like, want to see more here, subscribe, and hit the last post video. See you guys in the next video.
Control.